Visit a local participating retailer.
Win a weather radio tonight on News Channel 5 at 6.
Tonight's headlines. Threat of new terror attack forces Britain to ground some flights. Truck driver charged in deadly alien smuggling case. Also tonight, the first video evidence that U.S. Navy sonar may indeed be hurting whales. A new kind of allergy treatment could bring long-term relief to millions. And steer clear of this guy. His nickname is Genghis Swan. You'll see why tonight.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. Osama bin Laden may or may not be personally calling the shots, but there's been a surge in activity by his Hate America followers. Terror bombings in Saudi Arabia, arrests in a suspected al-Qaeda plot in Lebanon, and today, a senior U.S. Homeland Security official told CBS News terrorists are, quote, in the later stages of planning for attacks against U.S. and British targets in Kenya and or elsewhere in East Africa. The United States and Britain advised against travel to Kenya, and British commercial flights to Nairobi were canceled indefinitely. CBS's Alan Pizzi reports this concern focuses on a well-known al-Qaeda operative.
The return of this man, suspected al-Qaeda member Fazul Abdullah Mohammed, to Kenya may be behind the unprecedented suspension of flights between Kenya and Great Britain. Mohammed, who has many aliases, trained with al-Qaeda in Afghanistan and has been indicted in the bombing of the U.S. Embassy in Nairobi in 1998 that killed over 200 people. He's also thought to have masterminded last November's attack on a tourist hotel, where an explosives-packed vehicle killed 11 Kenyans and 3 Israelis. The same day, gunmen fired missiles at an Israeli charter plane leaving Mombasa. Mohammed disappeared from intelligence agencies' radar after the 1998 attack, escaping to neighboring Somalia, a country in anarchy and a good hiding place for terrorists. Both U.S. and British intelligence have issued travel warnings to Kenya because of increased chatter about terrorism threats in that country.
Given the information we've received in recent days, we felt that we had to, with the background, give this particular warning.
England has been a haven of sorts for Muslim extremists, which may explain why it's been relatively free of al-Qaeda attacks. But Britain's support of the U.S. in Iraq may have changed all that.
Now, the UK is regarded as a legitimate target, and Osama bin Laden has in fact referred specifically to the UK as a target.
Kenya says the British ban on flights is a, quote, extreme reaction that may actually play into the hands of terrorists. Dan?
Alan Pizzi at Heathrow Airport in London. A scaled-down FBI team arrived today in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, to help investigate Monday night's suicide car bombings. 8 Americans were among 25 people killed. U.S. officials expressed hope today that the Saudis will finally crack down on terrorists in their midst and the teaching of anti-Western prejudice. CBS's Tom Fenton reports that remains to be seen.
A full 3 days after the car bomb attacks, the Saudis are only now starting to plug the gaping holes in their security. And that worries the 45,000 Americans living here.
The police have been present at this compound. Other compounds, no police at all.
And there are up to 1,000 compounds like this for foreigners in Saudi Arabia. U.S. officials say the country is now more dangerous than ever before.
There could well be additional attacks that would follow. And so we're not by any means lowering our level of threat assessment.
The police are here at the Hamra compound because it was one of the hardest hit sites. It will be one of the places where FBI officials begin their investigations. But it's likely the intensity of the attack will reveal clear security weaknesses. In spite of detailed intelligence and warnings, planned attacks have not been completely prevented. And that the most vulnerable targets, soft targets like these living quarters, are never completely defensible. Although Americans and other foreigners were the immediate targets of this week's bombings, U.S. Ambassador Robert Jordan says the attacks were not just about driving Americans and other foreign workers out of the country.
And this is very clearly an assault on the regime here, and they have taken it as such.
A terrorist group that did this may have bitten off more than it can chew.